What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday on a rainy edition of the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff. Me, Ryan McGuffey, brought to you by our fine partners at Hooters. Visit originalhooters.com and find one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. What's up, everybody? It's the Recap Lunch Hour. Lot to discuss. Threw a Bears question out there, and we'll get to that in a second. The Cubs currently facing Paul Skenes. I would say a very shaky Paul Skenes this afternoon in Pittsburgh after what was a very bizarre and scary game last night. The scariness happening with the fan who fell from the 21-foot wall, the Clemente wall out in right field. Is in critical condition. The last I've read, I did do a search prior to coming on, and I have not seen anything updated with that fan. But let's hope that that fan is okay, because it did not look really good. I know that there's reports about him being drunk and etc., but that doesn't make it any better or any easier. And certainly a very scary scene that shook up the personnel at the ballpark, the Cubs players, management, etc. And Paul Skenes on the mound today looks very shaky and gettable. He walked the bases loaded prior to coming on, and then the Cubs rolled into a 4-6-3 double play by Michael Busch. They're down 2-0, the Cubs. I don't think this is a make or break game. I know yesterday we talked about, are the Cubs the best team in Major League Baseball? And a lot of people were like, well, what are you talking about? Games like this are going to happen. This game's very much up for grabs right now. Very much up for grabs. Speaking of up for grabs, I think this question and debate now, just to give this, in case you did not see it, and I'll dig up the piece here so we're all on the same page, because you're going to be like, who at ESPN? Mel Kiper should? Who? No, Matt Miller does draft analysis for ESPN.com. Okay. He went through and picked his 100 best picks of the NFL draft. He ranked them from steals, fits, etc. Matt Miller. This list isn't based purely on talent. That's why we had pre-draft rankings. Here we factored in value, where a player was drafted and where he was ranked pre-draft, scheme fit, how the selection addressed the need, what the prospect brings in the field, and whether additional assets were gained or lost in draft day trades to acquire him. After putting all of that in a blender, he kicks out that Luther Burden was the number one pick on that board, saying he was his top wide receiver in the class. That's counting Travis Hunter as a two-way player. Landed in a great situation with the Bears and new coach Ben Johnson. His yards after catch ability is terrific, and Johnson's scheme has been elite at creating space for wide receivers. Burden likely starts as a slot with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze flanking him, and he thrived in that alignment at Missouri. So he also, just so we're on the same page, ranked Colston Loveland 7th overall in his top 100. There were no other picks from the Bears in his top 100. Eric, what's up? Welcome to the show. Tough loss last night for the Cubs. Not the end of the world, to say the least. Definitely a scary situation with the fan falling. Hope he's doing okay and recovering well. If everything goes according to plan, Luther Burden could be one of the best second-round picks that the Bears have ever picked. Wow. We're going to put that out there. Let's find out when he gets game action to see if that's true or not. Bears, I want to see Bears. That's a bold statement. And I know, we need to see what happens there. But come on, man. We're putting a label on him. Could go down as one of the greatest second-round picks. Here, I'm going to look at, there's an article that right now, here, I'm going to give you a taste of second-round picks by the Chicago Bears, okay? Matt Suhey, fullback. Alshon Jeffrey, Mike Brown, Matt Forte, Richie Pettibone, Rick Caceres, Charles Peanut Tillman, Devin Hester, Hall of Famer, Bill George, Hall of Famer, Mike Singletary, Hall of Famer. Woo! Eric, I love you, man. Pump the brakes. My guy, Breck, they're going to the Super Bowl in Denver. The Rockies won a game yesterday. I actually watched that game, had the Braves in a parlay. You're thinking Chris Sale on the hill against the Rockies, who strike out more than any team in Major League Baseball. Of course, they get to win. That's why baseball's great, man. It is. It's why baseball's great. It's unpredictable. The real Phil Simms. Wild scene in Pittsburgh last night. Hope the fans are okay. Very scary last night. Tough loss. They'll bounce back. What's going on? My guy, Swayze. Phil, impressive win last night by Minnesota. So much for the Lakers in 5. Ant-Man is definitely that dude. Yeah. You know, my son has been very much on the Ant train because he wants the Lakers bounced. And it was awesome to see. That team was better coached. I think what happened, the Lakers, first of all, their roster is extremely flawed. Secondly, they have a coach who was a player and hired help, was a co-podcast host with LeBron James that I thought coached completely inexperienced the last 2 days. Just, I didn't get it. He didn't coach really well. You have those two players. LeBron looked old last night. Good for the NBA doesn't love it that LeBron and Luka are out, but that's good stuff. What would it take for the Cubs to get Sandy Alcantara? I would say it's going to take a hefty price of prospects, but the Cubs that's the good thing about the Cubs right now. They're in a position of strength when it comes to dealing from their top prospects. By the way, I didn't give my guy, this is a much different look than I had the last go. My guy, Andy at Michael's Salon, the best in Skokie. Andy, the best. If you go to Michael's, honestly, the whole crew's great. Andy is my guy, is Cap's guy. He takes care of us. I lost 4 pounds just by coming on the air today and getting a full trim all the way up. Plus, I'm seeing my guy Breck Bear next week. So I got to look good. Kyle, what's going on? Such a tragic event yesterday. Thoughts and prayers to the fan and their family. Just shows you how precious life is and to enjoy every single day. No doubt about that. Always a good reminder. Bucks better hope they don't get into that bullpen with the score close. I hope. But last night, the Bucks bullpen shut it down. 5 innings of 1-run ball. The recap is up on the channel if you'd like to catch it if you haven't. But just really good stuff yesterday from the Pittsburgh Pirates. It felt like once the Cubs broke through and got those 3 runs that they'd tack on from there and get to that 4.5 total that I always talk about. But you know what? They did not, and they didn't get the job done. Hoping that the analyst is correct that the Bears got a steal in the second round with Luther Burden. First-round talent in the second round, yes, please, bear down. I think that's probably better said. I think first-round talent in the second round is probably true. Might be true for a couple of guys. Travion Henderson, picked right before him, might have an argument in that. And I think that saying he's the best pick in the draft, I think right now, and I laid out the whole scenario of how that was picked. I'm cautiously optimistic that he's a really strong, I think he's gonna be a really good football player. I really like the Bears' first 2 picks. I really wanted Travion Henderson, but once he was gone, the Bears had to pivot, and that's where they went with Luther Burden. Tonight, the Edmonton Oilers send the Kings home. Leafs beat the Senators. Wild and Avalanche send the series to Game 7. Colorado, right? Must be you have the bad Rockies, the horrific Rockies, but you got the Avs. You got the Nuggets going tonight to close out the Clippers. I hope they do. I hope that. By the way, it's still 35-1 ticket to win it all. 35-1 ticket. There's some really good talented teams ahead of them. The Cavs, the Celtics, the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I don't know. I like this physicality that they're getting in round 1. They don't like each other. The Kings have tried to do everything they can to let the Oilers back in this series, and they have, and now they're on the brink. Bird Dog, what's up, Guff? Do you have a Derby horse yet? I would strongly suggest everybody that likes the Derby. We released it this morning on the channel. Cap and Eddie Olczyk, who's doing his 11th Kentucky Derby for NBC Sports. We have a full analysis and preview. We're handicapping KAP, the 151st run for the Roses. And Edzo believes that Journalist is he's the favorite, and he thinks it's Journalist and everybody else. We have his picks on there. We need to see what the weather is. I'm a big fan always of give me a long shot to pair it with. And looking at this list here and doing some of the handicapping, Cap is actually currently on his way down to Churchill Downs as we speak here on the air of the Recap Lunch Hour, brought to you by Hooters. And I know he's doing some he's got to do a little bit of mudding work because the weather questionable right now. It was warm yesterday. If it gets to be muddy, we'll have to see. A lot of people are saying, oh, journalism hasn't run against a lot of horses. No one runs in a 20 horse field. That's what makes it so great. But some really long shots that are worth looking at. Tistastic is somebody we're looking at. I know Chunk of Gold is somebody we're going to pair with. Cole Battle, I think, is in that mix too. I'm definitely going to put journalism, the 8 horse, in every one of my exotics. You got to put the favorite in there just in case he goes off. Now, if he gets second and you get a long shot on top of that, that's where you're looking at. But I will definitely be playing multiple horses in here. I believe Edzo has the 8, the 14, the 17. And then you have to keep in mind, if the 21 Bezea gets in, we have to see if he gets in. If he gets in, he might be, I think it's Bezea. He might be bet on as one of the top 3 or 4 horses in the race. Sherman, good afternoon. I like to see Sherman. Sherman earlier this week said he's a newbie. He's been back every day. Is it me or is Tucker in a little funk? He came into this game, I believe, 2 for his last 22. So to your point, yes, he's in a little funk. But this is baseball. It's you got to ride with hot with the cold. You know Tucker's going to figure it out and get back into you or get back into it. But he is in a funk, and that's where you need the rest of the team to pick things up. Here's a stat for you, Cap. If Burden wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, he'll be the first Bear to win the award since the A-Train, 2001. Also a second-round pick. Kyle, that's really good. By the way, I mean, we should look right now. I don't even know if you could. I'm going to take a look here and see if we can bet on NFL awards right now for Rookie of the Year. Because that could be – we can. Awards. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Right now, Colston Loveland's 25-1. Okay. Luther Burden's 50-1 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. $20 wins you a cool $1,000. That's worth looking at. I would hope that the Bears are able to keep Moore, Odunze, and Burden together long term. But if Burden is going to be what many think, Moore not be part of that. What do you think? I don't think it's even worth talking about the future right now when you got Odunze and Burden on the second year of a rookie deal and the first year of a rookie deal, and you just signed DJ Moore to an extension. Let's enjoy the riches. That's kind of where I'm at on that, Swayze. Down the road, if Odunze and Burden are developing like you think and hope so, maybe that's part of a conversation. But we're not even close to having that discussion yet. Nico Harrison is definitely flexing right now. He may not look so bad after all. Lakers and Mavs at full strength. Who you got? Good question, because from a toughness side of things, I think the Mavericks at full strength are better. Certainly from a pure skill position. Phil, there might be an argument there despite how crazy that trade was. Come on, Avs, says Swayze. Clyde, I have seen the highlights. Why get Nick Chubb? I'm at work now talking about Bears 7th round running back, Kyle Monagai. Because he's a 7th round running back in his rookie year. You have DeAndre Swift. That running back room might need one more oomph. Now, Roshan Johnson could be the odd man out. But keep in mind, Clyde, they're called the highlights because no one ever puts out a low light tape. All right. The highlights are always highlights, but you have to look at the entire. That's why I like looking at film. Film never lies. Look at every play, the plays off, the plays in between, and they do all of the talking. By the way, Paul Skenes today, for those of you who bet on his overstrikes out, Dansby Swanson has just left the yard off of Paul Skenes on an 0-2 pitch. I'm telling you, Skenes is there to be had today. He has 1 strikeout and 4 walks. He came into the game with 4 walks. So Cubs doing things like they always do. I put that up. And what just happened? What do you mean the Cubs are blowing it? It's a game. 1 game on the schedule. It's 2-1. Skenes has 4 walks. He came into the season with 4 walks. Everybody calm down. As soon as we start talking bad about the Cubs, things are turning around. They're not World Series contenders until they beat their divisional opponents. Okay, this is definitely sarcasm because it's May 1st. Okay. Looking forward to the Derby this weekend. That's why this is the greatest 2 minutes in all of sports. I've been to the Derby once, and it's a bucket list, Guff. You have to go. It's definitely on my bucket list. It's on Cap's bucket list. Cap's is going for the first time, which is kind of stunning in some ways because he's such a great handicapper, loves the sport. His favorite athlete of all time is Secretariat. That's a whole other debate. But yeah, it's definitely a bucket list item. I definitely want to get there someday. My wife is also part of that plan. She said, there will be no going to the Derby without me, at least the first time. Bird Dog lives in Louisville, supposedly a muddy weekend. Would love to run into Cap at the track. Ooh, Bird Dog, give us some spots to go. Muddy weekend, I think, changes these things. I think that makes it more fun for long shots. Horse racing is my blind spot. I'll admit, pun intended there, Landon. Just remember that the Derby is Saturday, first Saturday of May every year. Pablo, 2001 was a special Bears playoff year. That wasn't supposed to happen. Infamous Shane Matthews band game, back-to-back pick sixes for Mike Brown. It was incredible. Charles, hey, Guff, it is muddy at the Derby. Is anybody's race. Can you say long shot? Well, I think that I could promise you with all certainty, okay, as two guys, me and Cap, who had Giacomo 20 years ago, and we bet, he's going to have to tell me the other race. I wonder if he's on here. He'd have to chime in. But we had another big one, I think in 2014. No, 2015, I want to say. Anyway, I'm all in on adding long shots to the exotics play of our exactas, tries, and supers. Speaking of which, you know what would be a good place to watch the Kentucky Derby? Hooters, because they have the Big Daddy mugs. 'Tis the season for summer shandy and Dos Equis and Blue Moon and the tender tacos. I'm a big tender tacos guy with the mango habanero. You guys know where I'm at. The sweet, the heat, and the cinnamon pretzel bites, the McGuffey staple. Quite frankly, probably might get some tonight. Now I haven't had lunch yet. Talking about Hooters makes the stomach get a little lathered up. And if you're thirsty, the $6 cocktails, I'm not sure they're going to pour you or make you a mint julep, which is overrated. $6 cocktails all day, every day. And of course, the margaritas. They are the best. Go to originalhooters.com, find the location nearest you. There's 11 of them in the Chicagoland area. If you want to pick it up to go, order.hooters.com is the place to go for that. Swanson just hit one out of the park. See? And that ball hit deep. Kyle Tucker has left the building. So all the crap talking we were just doing, Kyle Tucker being in a funk, and we are tied at 2. Paul Skenes, I said it to start of the broadcast, there to be had today. Kyle Tucker has gone deep for the 5th time. It is a 2-2 ball game, top of the 5th. And so there we go. Chef Paul, I always play the 6 at the Derby. Let's look. Who is the 6th horse here? Kentucky Derby horses. I like Chef Paul. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if we see make a Chef Paul appearance this week. All right. The 6th horse is Admire Daytona. That's the Japanese horse. Is that the Japanese horse? Yeah. Just so you know, Chef, that's a long shot, which is not a bad thing. I know no horse outside of America has ever won the Derby. I think that's what they talked about in the interview with Edzo on the channel. Guff, the GOAT talk stops now. Totally agree. After winning the title in 2020, the COVID year, LeBron has been eliminated in the first round 3 times, missed the playoffs. That never happened with Michael after championships won. No doubt about it. Swayze, Hawks need to add a couple of elite wings to the top line to take pressure off counter, but also to unlock him. Where's Hossa when you need him? I don't think Hossa's coming back anytime soon. By the way, Paul Skenes at 3-0. Again, this was a day to just absolutely go the other way. That ball hit deep. Seiya Suzuki has left the building, and the Cubs off 3 solo home runs off Paul Skenes. I hope you guys like my play-by-play of the Cubs. The Cubs now lead the baseball game 3-2. And Paul Skenes is not Paul Skenes today. He is human. And all of us who rode the Paul Skenes train should have gone the other way today because he is there to be had. Keeneland 2013 was there with Breck. We dressed the part. I wish I had that picture on me to dig up, wearing the hot pink pants and the checkered blazer. I think, we in the periwinkle, Breck, I believe. So really good stuff. Joe, clean any positive news I can about the White Sox. My drop is back today. That's actually something to be happy about. Chase Mydroth back. Jordo Assad on the 60-day injury list. Yeah. Anytime you go to the 60-day injury list, I get concerned about your status and availability for this season. James, film lies most of the time. That's the main reason we see busts in the NFL every year from the draft. The film, James, play the game, watch the game, love the game. That's why I did all three. The film doesn't lie. You can see guys take plays off. Or there are GMs with their asses on the line who think that they can turn a great right tackle into a left, or they can turn a great guard into a tackle. And they try to tell themselves that by finding loopholes in the film. There are no loopholes in the film. That's why Burton's getting so much praise, is because after the catch, he's so deadly. Fresh cut, Guff. Oh, yeah. Fresh cut, my guy, Andy at Michael's. Top it off with the Aviators. Hope yesterday's bet went over well so you can bust them out. You know what? Damn it. I did. The Aviators should be there. I had the Aviators, and now I don't have them with. But yes, yesterday's bet went well. That's why I said, are we back? Good afternoon, Randall. Go Cubs, go. All of a sudden, everybody was crapping on the Cubs. And since they started crapping, the Cubs have hit 3 home runs since we've gone on the air. 3 home runs since we started this broadcast. You better be careful. There's somebody always listening. Let's give everyone Guff a few likes. Nobody brings it better. I appreciate you, Charles. Go Cubs, go. What is the news transactions for the White Sox? There's not really any. Gage Workman to the 10-day IL. Chase Mydroth is back. I think everyone from a fan standpoint is happy about that. Since the draft is over, how do you feel about the Bears being serious contenders? I feel like the Bears are in win now mode. Does that make sense? Now, that might mean 9-8, 10-7. Like 10-7 for me feels pretty good right now. 10-7 would likely get you in the playoffs. OD, still only May 1st. Cubs offense, man. They are dangerous. Chef, how about when George Steinbrenner lost with Bellamy Road? Said it was his biggest loss of his Life Designs Institute. Chef Paul, a pony guy. God, I love that. As if I needed another reason to love you, Chef Paul. All of this talk about who we're looking at for the Derbies got me thinking bet of the day. And yesterday we cashed. Matthew Boyd struck out the side in the first inning. On his way to 6 strikeouts, we cashed. The over was 5.5. We've won 2 straight. We're back on board. We're back to 500. Here we go. April finishes 9-13. That's what we finished. We were a little off in April. Today, we flipped the calendar. We flipped the calendar to May since we went 9-13 in April, and that happens. That's fine. Aaron Gordon, in what is my favorite playoff series thus far, the Clippers and the Nuggets going toe-to-toe. Aaron Gordon's total 19.5 points and rebounds, minus 125. He's gone over the total in every single game this series. He's gone over 19.5. You've heard the saying that the trend is your friend. In this case, folks, I'm going with Aaron Gordon. I actually like my pick of the day was almost Nikola Jokic for a triple-double. I'm being serious. He's done it in 3 of the 5 games that came out. I think a rebound short in 1 and 2 assists short in another. I may do a little parlay action of going over this number and the triple-double just to see where we land on the big scheme of things. But we know that Jokic averaged a triple-double for the season, so it's not like it's that crazy. That number is at minus 105. If the Bears stay healthy this year, they could be a sleeper team in the NFC. I don't know how much it'll be a sleeper. There'll be a lot of attention on the Bears and Ben Johnson. If this is Skenes' first start of the season, first loss, maybe he really doesn't have a groove yet, which is the perfect time to get him. Not his first start of the season, though. I think it's his 5th. Who do you think the Blackhawks go after for their coach? I'd like Mike Sullivan, but I don't think Mike Sullivan's going to be part of a rebuild anytime soon, even though the Hawks are starting to kind of come this way on that rebuild. We'll have to see. Dustin, time to let Turner go and give Ballesteros a shot. I'll just tell you what the manager of the Chicago Cubs said about that. He said, right now, there's no spot for Ballesteros on this team. They're not letting a $6 million guy go after 1 freaking month. Come on, guys. Have some patience. And the Cubs are in first place. All right? Can we have a little flipping patience, please? That a veteran guy who's been a big prove-it bat in the playoffs throughout his career is going to be fine. Swayze says, Clips in 7. Clyde says, Nuggets in 7. Sherman, I take back what I said about Tucker. Hey, sometimes you got to speak it into existence, you guys. Sometimes you got to speak it into existence. You certainly have. The Cubs have hit 3 solo home runs here in the last 25 minutes. You make a spot for a guy hitting 400. You know what? If Cubs offense was a problem, Dustin, I'd say sure. But you know what? Right now, their offense isn't a problem. I'd like to give Ozzie Guillen a shot at the Blackhawks job, says Scroll. There it is. There's the bet of the day. Aaron Gordon over 19.5 points and rebounds here on the recap lunch hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey. For everybody at the recap, have a great day. What a weird weather day. Rain, sun, more sun, sunny again. Maybe the sun came out because the Cubs have homered 3 times since we started this fine program. We'll bring it to you one more day this week tomorrow. I'll probably have some Derby plays for you then. Cap will be at the Kentucky Oaks tomorrow, which should be fun. The White Sox playing this afternoon. They're about ready to start against the Milwaukee Brewers, unless the rain has pushed that start. I have not seen that. Let me look real quick just to be as up to date with you as we sign off here as possible. The Chicago White Sox, they appear to be starting on time. Chase Mydroth hitting leadoff with Andrew Benintendi, Luis Robert, and Edgar Caro set to go behind him. Thanks, everybody, for watching. As always, you guys are the best. We appreciate you here at the recap. Like I said earlier, this week was our 3-year anniversary of the channel, and Cap and I can't thank you guys enough as we've hit 230,000 subs, and we're going straight to the moon. We're all going together. We're taking you with us. For everybody at the recap, I'm Ryan McGuffey. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you tomorrow for the Friday edition, the pre-Kentucky Derby edition of the Recap Lunch Hour. Brought to you by our fine friends at Hooters. Go to originalhooters.com. Find one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. originalhooters.com. Have a great day. We will see you